Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to MBTV. I am Captain Lust, still your regular host on the channel. I'm joined now by Aaron Trewent. How are you doing?
Hi, yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you. Very excited to be here for this match.
It's the big one, isn't it? This is the big max stream of the tournament so far. WeDontYou vs Europae. There is so much history here. Healthy, I think, and perhaps even a little bit of unhealthy rivalry between these two teams. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. Right, as you say, rivalry can be healthy, and mostly it is.
I think there's a good healthy amount of unhealthy and healthy rivalry here, though. I think that's
maybe occasionally goes a little bit too far.
But maybe that makes the game perhaps even more meaningful in some senses. These teams have traditionally had a history of confrontation. They've only actually really met each other in official matches 3 times, though. The first time ended in massive scandal. The second time, Europae won it pretty cleanly. The third time was the final of the Warband Native League 3, where WeDontYou won 10-6. But Europae have spoken to some of their players, and they consider WeDontYou to have dominated them in that match. WeDontYou to have been a lot stronger at that point. Afterwards, WeDontYou didn't actually continue as a team, and they just come back for this tournament, where they've basically been looking pretty terrifying right from the off. There's no other way to put it. They look like the best team in the scene right now, in my opinion. Although, having just watched Freelancers, that's now very hard to say. God knows where you put these teams.
Yeah. Well, whatever happens here, the final will be very interesting.
Yeah, well, I think this match is already pretty darned interesting, if you pardon my French. And I think
oh yes, absolutely.
And well, we saw the preview written by LaRue. We saw his talk about the map and faction picks, factions generated, about the map picks here. We had some interesting vetoes here. Teams sort of mostly vetoing maps which they have traditionally had a hard time playing on. But the picks have turned out really interesting right now, because WeDontYou, I consider them to have the best cavalry in the scene. I think most people do as well. And the best cav teamwork. As for archers, I would have considered them to have the best archers, maybe, although I've just seen Turtle and Menethil playing off their heads. So now I feel very, very unsure about who has the best archers in the scene. And Europae have insane archers as well, so it's very, very difficult to call there. I think where Europae have strength over WeDontYou, though, it's in the infantry. Which is why it's so weird to see WeDontYou go for a map like Naval Outpost, where there's not as much space. It's not as open as other maps which are available. And I really think that A have a good chance to do very, very well in this match, really, in spite of perhaps being a little bit behind WeDontYou right now.
One of the strange things about WeDontYou and Naval Outpost is that they have banned it twice and picked it twice.
That is strange.
So
That's really strange. Oh, that's a good statistic.
So, yeah, I mean, presumably they're looking at the strengths of their opponents as well and deciding...
That's quite possible, yeah. More tactical bans.
Either that or perhaps it's totally random. Yeah, maybe they toss a coin or something.
Well, how have they banned it twice and picked it twice? Haven't they only played 3 matches?
No, they played 4 matches. They played 3 matches in the group stage.
They should have only played 2 matches in the group stage. They came through first in the group.
WeDontYou.
Oh, WeDontYou have banned it and picked it twice.
Yes.
Oh, I thought Europae had. Oh, that is interesting. Although they didn't pick it. No, Legend picked it, didn't they? Surely. Because Legend picked the maps for the Heroes game.
Alright, no, I wasn't counting that one. They banned it in week 1.
Okay.
Against Heroes. They played it in week 3. They picked it in week 3 against Heroes.
But they didn't pick it, though. That was Legend's pick, because they were forced to play with Legend's maps, I believe.
That was week 2, wasn't it?
No, week 2 they picked their maps against Legend.
Oh, right, then I'm confused, maybe.
So they must have banned it twice.
So they banned it in the quarters, and they picked it tonight.
That is very weird. That is very weird. And especially considering Europae looked very, very scary on this map playing against IG.
Yeah, I think I am right. It was the Legend match was week 2.
Legend match was week 2, but they got the default loss in that. And
right. Oh, yes.
and then so
yes, absolutely,
against
yes.
heroes, they were they had to use
That's
Legends
right.
map
So
picks.
they didn't pick the maps. Yeah.
But yeah, it's still very weird though that they picked it tonight. I mean, well, I don't really understand the explanation for that or the reason behind it. I guess we'll just have to see. Maybe they've got something really interesting planned for it.
AE picked it in week 2, so it's obviously not something they're afraid of.
Yeah, it's very odd. And we see no Sandy Bush out here as well because it's something that LaRue mentioned. I mean, Sandy Bush is considered by some to be an Apis Europae map, or considered by LaRue to be anyway, even though it's a Lust map actually, because I made it. But AE have traditionally performed very, very well on there. What we saw though was last week, WeDontYou playing it against the Castellans. Their hold, especially on that low road flag, was just so scary. And I think Apis Europae did not want to mess with that, so they've picked Valoran. And that's another kind of an interesting pick as well, because although that's a map made by an AE player, made by Azan, one of Azan's lovely maps, I really think that is a map where they have traditionally done very bad. Basically, they've had some historical losses on Valoran, in the past. So basically, just weird maps all round. I think we could be seeing some interesting and explosive swinging of the power in this game. I think we're going to see both teams go ahead at least at some point.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Winterberg.
Yeah, well, it's quite possible. I don't know what most people think. I think most people expect this to be very close, but I have a feeling that among the top teams there is a slight feeling that WeDontYou are playing at a slightly higher level at the moment. I'm not sure though.
And I think AE just heard that Peter won't be playing tonight. Which,
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, he'll be a big
He will be a big
loss
to them.
to them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's very true. Although there's not a very open map that they're playing as well, so it's not as big a loss. Although he has been playing great in melee. He's basically just great at all class. He is one of the Warband gods. He's amazing at every single class, and he's a great archer as well. No one thinks that he's a great archer because he's so good at everything else, but actually he is a brilliant archer too. What? Now, what I do want to mention is the players who are just playing so well for WeDontYou right now. Black Tide, I mean, we saw him last week, basically playing off his head. He's so good at the moment, playing under the name Otherwise Offensive. He's got Christo the Vicious with him as well.
He's got the most kills, hasn't he, in
of
Harlan's
anyone.
statistics?
Yeah, he just is killing everyone the whole time right now. And also...
I was going to say his kill-death ratio. I think that was something that made like sick.
Yeah, something stupid. That is ridiculous. That's like a Wolfpack Den first day kill death ratio. Okay, I think we're gonna have I think are we live now? Let's jump back in. Let's jump into the game. Okay, let's go with the map intro for Naval Outpost. Okay, a little intro there for Naval Outpost, a new map made by Farunian. Just being introduced into competitive play this time around. And it's great to see it get picked as well. Good to see the new maps getting played, and we have some interesting play going on right now. WeDontYou pushed up very far on this far alleyway. And they're just going to be playing aggressive right now, or are they just going to go straight into Europae? We have the AE infantry line backing off in this melee fight, and they don't like to do that at all. But the first goal is coming in from near Thought, going to take down Trebron, a significant kill, in fact. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now, because we just got out of the map intro, and we were looking at a bit of action.
WeDontYou are backing off now.
Currently, what it looked like it seems that WeDontYou have played 3 cav, and one of them was taken down. That's Trebron. 3 infantry and 2 archers. A playing 4 infantry, 2 cav and 2 archers. I actually prefer A setup here. I don't think cav. I don't think there's the utility to use 3 cav on a map like this. I mean, it is technically mixed, But in my opinion, this is a very, very close map. I mean, it's no more open than Valoran, in my opinion. But the categories are slightly different.
Flag spawned. I'm not sure what we'd call the areas in this map.
This is the area of the Forgotten Pools, where there is the Forgotten Pools because it's the roleplay fountain area. Okay, WeDontYou gonna run into the tunnel right now. An early kill from Vendetto as well. He's playing so well right now. Azan is brought down immediately. And just one cav left now for A. Tommy's going to charge into danger as well. Is he going to escape with his life, it seems like. But A had to be so careful right now because playing for WeDontYou right now, they have Black Tide and Christo the Vicious, who are the two best jab throwers in the scene. There's no contest. They are ridiculous with them. Even Javman Dan is in awe of their jab throwing abilities. Okay, right now, it's 7 players against 7. WeDontYou are holding AE in this choke point. They have to make a decision at this right now about what to do. Scar setting back. They're rotating their infantry plays, but they have started to lose some health right now. Playing Swardian infantry in this style against Nords is very, very risky. Vendetto taking short-range shots. Going to bring down Deacon. And the fight's broken out a little bit here, but M is taken down by Black Tide, and Black Tide is a great player in this situation, but brought down by Scar, though. And right now, AE are a player down, but they're finally breaking through the lines here. Scar brought down by Christo, though. Team kill from Raiden. And it's very, very tense right now. Vendetto has got 3 kills so far this round already, though. That must be difficult to deal with. LaRue brought down eventually. Well, that was a Celtic round. I had no idea even what to say there. But basically, WeDontYou, they just got Apostropo caught in that choke point, right?
Yeah. It felt like mayhem. It was difficult to see. Yeah, but Apostropo seemed caught. Although LaRue was coming from the other side, was he?
I wonder if they would have been better off just cutting their losses and going out the other exit, because, I mean, if you look at that tunnel, there are other ways to get out of it. Now, WeDontYou have started to tank up a little bit. They do have armor on their archers, or one of them at least. They have armor on Pendragon, but not too much. Plenty of them did go down, so not too problematic for AE here, but it has to be said that they have to be very, very careful about Nords getting too much money and too much armor right now, because Apostropo the Swardian team, they do lack the high damage weapons to deal with heavily armored opponents. So they can't let this snowball out of control.
Yeah, so if Nords get heavy shields.
And heavy armor, more significantly as well.
Heavy armor, yeah. The mail there, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a few of them with some mail. But not too many. And Vendetto was just fantastic in that first round. 4 kills! Absolutely incredible. Vendetto famous for his list. Vendetto has a list of every single best players of all time in the scene. They have points, ratings. They're the best teams at Nations Cup as well, like fantasy teams as well. This has produced some very, very interesting results. It's produced a lot of debate in the scene as well. I personally have 97 Vendetto points at maximum 100. So
I was going to mention that if you didn't.
I'm happy. Well, there's no risk of me not mentioning that. I'm very happy with the list itself. Others are not quite as happy. Needless to say,
Scar list, don't we? Scar.
We do have the scars as well, but needless to say, there's a lot of Vendetto points in this match tonight.
Basically, WeDontYou pushing forward.
Basically, I think everyone here has a lot of Vendetto points. To the Apostropo lines, and once again, they're kind of backing off from any fight, and that's not like the position, but the archers here for Apostropo, and LaRue brings down Vendetto. Such a crucial kill there from the man who wrote the preview for this match. And another headshot from LaRue. The water shot on Trebron as well. How significant can one man be? Right now, Relax has got to deal with him, and he does keep him busy for a while, but LaRue able to bring out his crossbow once again. WeDontYou now moving into the melee fight, but those 2 kills from LaRue could bring us through. Scar takes down Raiden as well now, and Apostropo fighting back, not to be shaken by the first round loss. Those 2 kills from LaRue were absolutely huge right now, and I know he's been training so hard. That is the fruits of labour, that is the fruits of work. Trebron and Vendetto taken down by 2 double headshots there, or, well, 1 double headshot.
Each. And the map spawns under AE's feet.
Yes, the flag now on the high ground. But I think this fight is going the way of AE right now. Deacon Barry does bring down Pendragon. Scar goes to work on Christo as well. Carrick takes down Relax, aka Milos Zeman. Ottoman goes down, and it's just Black Tide remaining. Apostropo get going in this match. Scar with a double kill. And they needed that. They needed that. Because if they had gone into tilt, if they had lost the first 2 rounds, that could have been a big problem. But now we have a match on. The score is 1-1. We don't you now have to think about what they have to do. Think about what their plan is. Spawning in the blacksmith spawn, I want to call this. Now these spawns are very, very close on this map. The map itself is actually pretty big, but the spawns are both sort of near the top and quite close together. You can see with the Razor logos where the flags can spawn, one by the ship, one in the Forgotten Pools, and one where it spawned last round. In the current game mode, the flag will not spawn in the same place twice in a row. So where Cleric Johnson is standing there, on top of that Razor logo, that's not where the flag is going to spawn this round. It's going to spawn either by the ship or in the Forgotten Pools, where you're heading towards right now.
You've gone in the tunnel. Oh,
well,
they're coming out again?
It's an interesting central position to take. Zan has taken himself a Warhorse already here. That's going to be significant. And some interesting drop play here for A as well. Both of their cav, both Tommy and Zan, going to be playing with long all pikes. I think because couching is less of a significant factor on a map like this, having that extra damage of the all pike is what they tend to prefer to take. It's a very, very common drop actually. For those not familiar with the competitive scene, weapon drops are sort of when you have one class which can take one weapon, but it can be used by another class. That's when they sort of drop and swap things around.
Scar and Deacon
we lost control of the camera for a second. Okay, we're back. ECS
okay,
endpoint antivirus. Curse you with your pop-ups. Losing my camera control. I do not endorse ECS in any way. Use a different antivirus provider. Okay. We don't use camping the tunnels right now, and I don't know if that's the best position. Benetto's got a nice spot though over here, overlooking the pools, and got a pretty good view of this flag if it does spawn here. And actually, WeDontYou are going to be able to shut down at A if it spawns over by the ship. It's going to be very, very hard for A to get over there. Flag's going to spawn in about 3 seconds. It does spawn in this area though, in this Forgotten Pools area. And now, are A going to try and do the same thing that WeDontYou did to them? Are they going to try and shut them down in this choke point? It looks like it. Deacon Barry has managed to take up some tanky armor, so is M. M, the famous duelist. For his famous duel videos. And what are WeDontYou going to do? Because they're really locked down this tunnel. They're going to get flanked here by A, and well, there's only one thing to do when you get flanked, and that's to push one side. The first kill goes on, that's Milos Saban. AK Rax is going to be brought down by Near, but WeDontYou have charged that one side, and they're charging into Scar, M, Deacon Barry. They're difficult men to charge into. They're getting pushed back. LaRue with a headshot on Pendragon. Deacon Barry has lost his shield. But he's a man who can block. Scar under a lot of pressure, but he's staying alive against Raiden. And Benedetto brings down Raiden as well in the meantime, or at least keeps him busy enough for Tommy to bring him down. Another headshot here from LaRue as well. Scar doing huge work in this fight, eventually brought down by Christo the Vicious, but Apis Europae with 6 players against the 4 of WeDontYou right now. Oh! Brilliant kills from Benedetto though, and WeDontYou fighting back in this round. WeDontYou now with space to shoot with the Apis Europae players. And it seemed like he had this. Right now, LaRue forced to go into melee with Benedetto right now. He can't let him shoot. And he brings him into the melee fight. It's 4 players against 4. 40 seconds left. Benedetto with low health. But in comes Trebron, and it's going to harass LaRue, but doesn't take him down. They're both attacking Benedetto right now. And they can't let him shoot. Trebron is brought down from his horse, and is taken down by LaRue as well. Now AE getting ahead of this. Down goes back to as well. It's just Benedetto left. And Apis Europae do take this round. Jesus, what a thrilling round.
Wow, that was, yeah. It looked like he had it, and then it looked like WeDontYou had it.
Cleric Johnson with the double kill to finish it off, though. But Benedetto and Christo fighting back there. Absolutely insane. Benedetto has been by far the best player so far for WeDontYou. And AE, I mean, the work that their infantry did there, they've been ridiculous, yeah. 5 kills in over the 3 rounds there for LaRue. And the work that Scar did staying alive there before being taken down was absolutely huge. Cleric Johnson able to see it through in the end. Cleric Johnson, a very famous player in the scene, known for his infantry psychology. He's another player a bit like Attila who plays angry. His philosophy is, if he's angry, he's not feeling pressure. He's just focused on his anger, so he just gets angry, and that's how he plays matches. A very interesting character in the scene. LaRue came on Horse and Sword, the web show we occasionally host on the channel, just a few days ago. And he was referring to the rivalry between Apis Europae and WeDontYou. I asked him about it, I raised the question, and he said, well, I don't think it's taken too seriously, but there's certain members of the team, some with, you know, strong personalities, that feel that rivalry a bit stronger. And when LaRue said strong personality, there was only one player which came to mind. It was Cleric Johnson. That turned out to be the player he was referring to. But there's no lack of strong personalities in WeDontYou either.
I was just thinking that.
The man we're looking at right now. Otherwise offensive, aka Black Tide. Been playing in the scene for 5 years, and he's playing off his head right now. He has the most kills of anyone in the tournament. He's throwing jabs like a madman. And he's so scary in melee fights as well. He's the kind of player who not only is he incredibly solid, but he can also play absolutely crazy at the same time. And it's so interesting to see that this round has completely broken down into a stalemate. It's been completely passive so far. The flag spawns over on the ship. WeDontYou are closer to the flag spawn. And you're going to have to think about their approach. They've got to start moving fast, and that's what they're doing. They're going to go down the side, and Europae have accumulated some gold right now. They do have some mail armor. Europae means Bees of Europe, or I think it's actually incorrect Latin, but I think the intention was Bees of Europe. I was involved in that naming process, as I was an Europae founding member. Only stayed in there for a week though.
Raiden's got an archer position on the top of that ship.
A very strong position, and a very strong archer Raiden as well. Another player that's been around for so long. Turkish player there, absolute god tier archer. And WeDontYou seem to have their whole sorted on this map. You know, they clearly practiced this. Raiden's going to start shooting the A lines right now, but immediately Christo's going to deal with Nearthar. Early kill comes in. Deacon Barry taken down by a Jav here from Black Tide. And well, Nearthar goes down to a Christo Jav as well, and WeDontYou getting kills early on in this round. A having a really hard time assaulting the ship, and Vendetto still shooting outside of melee, still unchallenged. I think A lack a cav support, which they really need here. I mean, there's so much more open space right now. But without this cav support, down goes Cleric, down goes M, and WeDontYou running away with this. Not even close. LaRue and Scar are the last remaining players, and Scar's going to do what he can, but at this point, WeDontYou just seem to take this. Vendetto finishes him off. Vendetto takes us an 8-2 record over those 4 rounds. And we're going to have a 30-second break right now, and then go into the first break. Well, as viewers, we couldn't have hoped for a better first set, I don't think. It's dead even after the first 4 rounds, and, well, right now it's just anyone's guess, surely.
Yeah, but like you were saying, it's interesting that WeDontYou looked very much better on the more open area.
Yeah, that's very true.
A missing missing Peter, I should think.
That is true, but I mean, also, I think that partly comes down to the class setup they were playing as well. Playing with 3 cav gives them just a bit more utility to play on that sort of slightly open area.
Do you think Nords have an advantage on this map?
I think yes. I think Nords have an advantage on most maps. They're just very good. The jabs, I mean, they have an advantage when you have players that can use their advantage, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, you're looking at their players, you're looking at Raiden and Vendetto, who are going to play as sick archers with those tiny bows and just shoot and shoot and shoot. Vendetto obviously getting 8 kills. You're looking at Christo and Black Tide, who are going to get javelin kills, no matter, you know, they're just going to get javelin kills. It's going to happen because they're amazing at throwing javelins.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, Nord's going to have an advantage. The problem is that Europae have to use that advantage as well. They have to make it work for them on the Nordic side.
They'll have the faster fire rate. Like you said, our archers
that's
are.
True. I think that could make a bit of a difference here as well. I'll be interested to see which archers they play as well. In the previous round, seeing Nearthar and LaRue. Nearthar really not able to get as much done, especially compared to LaRue. But they do have a lot of players in here who can make a very big difference. I think they might be bringing in Razor. We'll see exactly how it plays out, or who they use. But Razor certainly last time they played this map was very strong. I'm going to bring up the bracket quickly here, and we can have a little look at what happened in the previous match, which was a domination from Freelancers. Anyone who saw that previous game will know exactly what happened. And yeah, it was very, very one-sided. Freelancers now in the grand final of the European Championship Series. What we're having right now is the other semi-final, which is WeDontYou versus Apis Europae. It's currently 2-2 the score, and the winner will go through to face Freelancers in the grand final. That's going to happen next week. The loser will go through to the bronze match, obviously, and face off against the Irish Rebels. One thing I think about the scene right now, I don't know if you agree with me, Aaron Wen, but basically, most people considered that WeDontYou, Apis Europae, and Freelancers to be the top 3 teams. Even though there's 4 teams in the semi-final, most people are considering that there's 3 teams in contention for the championship. I mean, would you agree with that assessment at the moment? I mean, obviously, now technically there literally is. But I mean, it just
absolutely.
It seems to be the case, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
I guess I think
it is the case, isn't it?
But yeah, so go ahead.
But yeah, either in this match, either team could take it. I don't know about you, but I have no clue who's going to win, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to Winterberg.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I would be thrilled, though.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're live, so let's jump back into the game. Okay, that is the game music. I love the game music. I love to jump back into that game every time. Okay, we've had a bit of a problem there. A slight false start there. We're just going to be restarting and getting back into the game in just a second. Okay, I think we're live now, so we'll see the spawns this time. And A now spawning in this. Whoa! Thank you, Dictator, for that. Okay, we're back in the streamer status. Once again, WeDontYou playing with 3 cav, and A playing with just 2. 2 archers for both sides as well, so the extra infantrymen for Apis Europae. Pretty fair tactic. You can see all the bees on their shields. WeDontYou playing with their traditional banner. Got that sort of Polish hussar with a kind of Polish flag theme going on there. And there's some other sort of national and clan flags on there as well. But you can't really see them very well on these shields. Now, right now, WeDontYou are playing... Sorry, Apis Europae are playing very, very turtily. They're really sort of clamped very, very close together. Moving around as a group. They're going to actually go to the low road, and... Well, LaRue seems like he's a man on a mission. He's going to be moving across to the ship area. And I wonder why he's doing that. Ooh, he's taking a foot shot there. Was that a foot shot?
I didn't see.
Oh, he's just been hit just in the arm by a bolt there, and wow, that is... I don't know who that was, whether it was a raid or Benedetto, but that was an insanely good shot there. All the way from up here, down into the sort of sliver of open arm that was possible to shoot from LaRue. He managed to get half of his health by putting a bolt through his elbow, and that was just incredible. It just shows the level that these archers are playing at right now. What a shot. Now, Ottoman has taken a hit here as well. Ottoman also a veteran of a very, very long time. A French-Turkish horseman.
Flag spawned on the ship.
It's going to spawn on the ship, and I think it kind of favours A right now, but they're taking an interesting approach there. They're not going to go to the ship. They're going to chase WeDontYou down. Is that going to force WeDontYou to turn around? Are they just going to run away? I think, unless WeDontYou turn around right now, they're going to have some of their players caught out of this. It seems like Black Tide makes it away, with Relax just fending off the charge of Apis Europae. And now A not in an ideal position. They have to either keep moving, well, they have to keep moving forward now because they've got to get towards that flag. They could have got there perhaps earlier than their opponents, though. We'll see how this plays.
It was a very interesting idea, though, to chase them down like that.
Azan takes a big hit there as well. Does manage to stay alive, though, by the mercy of the archers, you can only think, because that could have been a headshot very easily. Now, WeDontYou on the run right now, and that's not ideal. Cleric Johnson makes a big aggressive move there, jumping down into the fray. Let's get a hit, but not too significant there. Christo the Vicious, though, on very, very low health already. And WeDontYou using their aggression. Sorry, A using their aggression. Oh, Jesus. LaRue and Razor taking up nice arch positions here to assault this flag. LaRue could be very, very deadly from this spot he's taken.
Vendetta and Raiden in good
Early kill though. Cleric Johnson brought down by Trebron. Bloody Death though with the retaliation, and Scar gets a kill here as well. Scar now moving in towards Black Tide and Christo. And he gets overwhelmed. Bloody Death with the double kill now. Christo now caught on against overwhelming was too. Bloody Death just going to keep playing aggressive. Scar is brought down by Trebron in the meantime. 6 AE players against the 5 of WeDontYou. Trebron did horse though. And now they have to deal with Raiden at some point. They're going to send someone up to deal with him, surely. LaRue goes up to deal with him. Azan is brought down, but so is Christo, so is Raiden, and so is Milos Zeman. Now it's just Trebron and Vendetta on the flag. 2 WeDontYous against 5 A's and 8. Oh, they just had it high enough. I wasn't even paying attention to the timer. Jesus Christ. They just had the flag high enough, and that must be so close as well. Oh my god. I completely missed that.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, all the running around at the start of the round, those 2 minutes just flew by. It was so tense.
Yes, so much going on, and yeah, the long road that AE took up a lot of the time.
Yeah, it certainly did. I think it worked out for them pretty well though. They were able to sort of have WeDontYou on the run the whole time, and it just made them uncomfortable. It made their engagement that they took basically pretty weak. They weren't able to set up crossfires in time. They weren't able to get away and find space to have the melee fight. Really, I think A are at their best when they're just charging towards their opponents. So I think they were very happy with the way they took that round and how it played out. And now we're getting a bit of gold here for A as well. Bloody Death has been able to tank up at least to some mail. LaRue's got some as well. Weirdo and Azan still playing pretty lightly armoured here. Azan with his blue armour. And those of you who play Warband multiplayer may know that horsemen don't normally get these shields. The ones that Azan is using. That's because of the drops that Europae are using on the Nordic side, because horsemen get free javelins. They often just buy 4 sets of them and drop them for all of their teammates. While their teammates will provide them with a shield for adequate protection. Shield's obviously very important when you're playing against archers like Raiden and Vendetta. Now, WeDontYou happy to settle in this top area. It has to be mentioned that now that the flag won't be spawned on the ship, it really kind of focuses a lot on this choke point, actually. Realistically. Okay, well, A is just going to kind of move forward. Okay, well...
And it's spawned down by the pool.
Yeah, it's going to spawn in favour of them. Are they going to try and hold WeDontYou at this choke point? It's going to be interesting to see what their plan is here. It seems like WeDontYou are going to move towards the tunnel again. Although it did not work out for them last time. Having said that, it very nearly did, so... I can understand them trying their luck. Scar going to start raising the flag immediately. But A going to want to move here and start shutting out this choke point. That's what they are going to do. Bloody Death, Cleric and M are going to move towards this choke point to harass them. WeDontYou now going to have to think about what their aggressive options are going to be. They don't want to move out. Even though the choke point isn't really held too tightly, they're not going to move out just yet.
Raiden's come out the side. They will have, no. Get some shots off there.
And it seems like some WeDontYous are going to come from the high ground as well. They're going to take a very wide flank here. And that's going to stop LaRue from firing actually comfortably. Because Benedetto, Ottoman and Trebron are both going to come from this high side, and that's going to open up Benedetto for some shots. And they're just leaving LaRue to deal with him, but he's also going to deal with these 2 cav. WeDontYou really kind of being held out actually at that top side though. Now they start to move on to the flag. Scar and Bloody Death going to do their best. Azan comes in with the kill on Pendragon though, and Widow brings down the always offensive. 1 kill back here for Ottoman. WeDontYou now have this, yes. A double kill for Ottoman here right now. Going for Cleric as well is Ottoman. Trebron is brought down by Razor, and A with a player advantage. A double kill now for Razor. And Bloody Death takes down Christo. Now AE starting to run away with this round as well, and AE looking very, very strong on Naval Outpost right now. Benedetto now, what can he do as a lone crossbowman? The bump lance there from Weirdo. Surely he's brought down. And he is. Raiden, the leader of WeDontYou. He's going to get taken down right now. Cleric Johnson wants blood. Moves in. If he can stay alive for 7 seconds, he will get to keep his gold. But Cleric Johnson going to get that kill. And going to give him a 1-1 score. Not too many kills for Cleric Johnson, but his aggression, I think, has been felt, nonetheless. Bloody Death, actually, for Europae going to be the more significant infantry player. And now, look at Apis Europae. And now look at the Apis Europae's armor. And now, what will WeDontYou do? It's going to be really hard for them at this point. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, obviously, having taken those rounds, getting tanked up. WeDontYou will know. Oh, and they're charging.
Yeah, it looks like WeDontYou
trying to take
not willing to wait around, but I don't know how well this is going to work out. Laru and Razor are finding space to shoot here. They're not being shut down by a crossfire at all. Not the best spots to shoot, but now Laru moving across to a crossfire as well. That could be a problem. But lurking in the back of Laru is 3 WeDontYou horsemen riding around like maniacs. They're going to get involved in this fight very, very soon if it does kick off big time. Better going to be trying to shoot in from the back right now. And well, it's just an interesting stalemate that's kicked off right now because WeDontYou really made a very bold move. And are you going for the push? They're just going to push right into their opponent's positions. And immediately going for Benedetto to shut him down right there. And he's now keeping both the crossbows busy. But in comes Relax right now. Knocks down Eamon. Now Benedetto's going to be able to shoot. But Bloody Death does get killed in the meantime. And Relax is brought down by Razor. Losing health though. They do have a player advantage right now. But they are losing health. Now they're starting to back off from this fight. They don't seem to want it. They seem very uncertain. Perhaps they're happy with their player advantage at this point. And Triple is brought down by Widow. That's a big jab that's gone down right now. Obviously Nordic Cav do have the jabs. In Cav vs Cav fights, they can be very significant. WeDontYou left with 5 players left, and that's not ideal for them at all. Flag spawns on the ships. Only 1 horseman left for WeDontYou as well. Ottoman will have to do a lot of work if WeDontYou are able to take this round.
Both teams moving to the same area.
Not willing to back off to the ship, so they're going to try and engage WeDontYou here. Starting to back off, but they don't want to back off too far from this melee fight. I think they're going to turn and start running towards them in a second. Yeah, Cleric Johnson about to start getting stuck in here.
Raiden and Benedetto on the raised area though.
Oh, the javelin from Bloody Death was fantastic!
Superb.
Incoming jabs from Black Tide and Christo though. In comes Weirdo. Doesn't get the bump. Scar on no health. Bloody Death on no health. There are chances here for WeDontYou. Raiden brings down Razor. And it's not over yet this round, not by any stretch. Bloody Death is brought down. And Cleric Johnson is brought down. And Black Tide looking very, very strong in this round right now. Ottoman is taken down as well though. And so is Raiden. Black Tide is brought down by Weirdo. And Weirdo with a double kill right there. It looked very, very close there. And Black Tide clearly always a big danger. But Christo, just by himself with no health? Surely not. A triple kill there for Weirdo. It's the bump to finish him off. And Weirdo finishing that round for Apis Europae in style. Apis Europae take the 5-3 lead. That means they will go into the next map with an advantage no matter what right now. Can WeDontYou pull back this last round and keep it close? Remember, this is the map that WeDontYou picked as well. And a lot of people called it a strange pick. They expected the open map pick from WeDontYou. I did too. And I wonder if they're regretting not picking it right now at this point. But I don't know if they have time to think about it. They've just got to focus on this match. They've got to focus on this round right now. No changes from WeDontYou either. They've lost 3 in a row and no changes at all. Still 3 Cav. And I just wonder how effective they've been.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row, but they've still looked dangerous. They've
looked dangerous, but have their Cav looked dangerous? Maybe.
Yeah, their Cav were doing work. They were hassling the archers.
I still would question perhaps the need for 3 of them. I don't know.
For 3, yeah. 3 is maybe.
And look at Weirdo though. 7 kills over 3 rounds. 7-0 right now. And Weirdo, you know, he's one of those players. He's not considered perhaps one of the star players of Apis Europae. I mean, if you were to name the top 10 players in the scene, or the top 3 or 5 players in Apis Europae, probably fairly few people would list Weirdo. But look at him right now in this crucial moment. Bloody Death as well. I mean, a lot of people would rate him, but perhaps not as high as some of the bigger personalities, aka Cleric Johnson. But look at them. 6-1 for Bloody Death, 7-0 for Weirdo. in this crucial game, in this semi-final against their rivals, they're the ones putting in the huge work right now. A once again playing aggressive. Leroux wants to start shooting his opponents from close range. Early hit does go off on Black Tide. And WeDontYou happy to back off. They do get the flag spawn. But they're not in a position to hold out Europae here. A can just walk through this door. And they can immediately get into some good positions right now. We don't even have to think about setting up their crossfire, because right now they don't really have one. Benedetto is still backing off.
Raiden has a good position.
Where is Raiden right now? Okay, he's in the...
By the stables, are they? Whatever that...
It's the top of, it's the top of a, it's the top of a wall, actually, I think. But it's sunken into the ground cleverly by Farunian. Are you going to move in to flush out Raiden? Or are they going to at least just find some cover in this area? Now the AE start to move in, but Leroux is taken down early on by Trebron, who's coming from the back right now. And Razor has to be careful as well, because he's coming in behind Razor. And he gets a big hit on him too. Azan is taken down by Black Tide in the meantime. Scar getting hits on Trebron, who is finished off by Razor right now. Razor now needs to start shooting into this fight though, because WeDontYou are starting to run away with it. A, in spite of all their gold, in spite of all their armor, are starting to lose this fight, but no. They're turning it around right now. M brings down Pendragon, low health of all the AE players though. But they are starting to win this fight. Weirdo gets his 9th kill of the set. Can he go for the 10 bomb? Who would doubt him? It's only Ottoman left. And Apis Europae with the bloody death finish. 9 kills for bloody death, 9 kills for Weirdo. We're going to have a 30-second break when we go into the half-time. Okay. Half time it is, and Apis Europae currently leading 6-2. And basically, that's a pretty heavily one-sided score after what we saw from the first set. I think that's a pretty big surprise. It was 2-2. Apis Europae, they were just able to make it work with the Nords.
Yeah, it was 2-2, but we did say we thought Nords had an advantage, so they held it to 2-2 when WeDontYou had Nords and run away with it when they did. But at the same time, they weren't overwhelming WeDontYou. The rounds looked close. They were close.
Some of them were close. I don't know if they all were. I mean, I really think that WeDontYou had a big problem there, and I just question why they're not playing on an open map, which is what they had the opportunity to pick, and where I really feel their strength would have lied. And they're going to be feeling very troubled right now, because this match, we've talked about what it means to Apis Europae, but it means just as much to WeDontYou. It just means just as much to them. Raiden taking over from Sotomersu after he was suspended from the tournament. And they have so much to prove. So much history between the two teams.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much that has affected them. I think they said in the write-up that Leroux did when he talked to them that Raiden's taken on the role of leader. I think they call it caller very well, but that means he's got more to think about in a match than perhaps he is used to.
Headshotting his opponents as he's normally designed to do. That is true. And leading as an archer is also very difficult. It's often not... You don't have a very good perspective on the fight sometimes, and about what you need to do and how the infantry need to move. Whereas archers often play a bit more reactive. So leading as an archer can be very difficult as well. It's not over yet though. Apis Europae are with a heavy lead. A 4-round lead, but it could all change. This map has been traditionally bad for Apis Europae. Traditionally, they've taken some heavy losses. Warband Native League Season 2, RNGD.
But AE did pick this one.
Well, that's also interesting as well. I mean, WeDontYou pick the first one.
Presumably they have a plan.
Oh, you thought that about WeDontYou as well. But then look what happened. 6-2.
Yeah.
I mean, that is worse than Plan B. I mean, Plan B would have been go down 5-3 and focus on the second map. Going down 6-2. I mean, to even this up, they need a 4-0 win in this set. That's what it means. Or they need 2-3-1 wins, and that's not very easy at all.
And the factions, Saranids and Vega's, pretty even. No faction really having a huge advantage on this map.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I mean, we just actually streamed this same thing in the Polish Cup match we had earlier on this evening, and Perzelblumen suggested that Vegas with this spawn, like the combination of the Vega faction and this spawn, could have an advantage because they can take over the tower and the balcony, and get into some great archer spots.
All right. Well, she's of course very experienced and helped make the tactics for Wolfpack. So yeah, I expect she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, I would agree. But at the same time, I do think that there's plenty of opportunity for Saranids to get work done here. I mean, I think the map itself just gives lots of tactical options, and Saranids with their axes also, they're always going to be able to perhaps put a lot of pressure on Vegas in melee fights. I think we're going to go live now, so let's run that Valoran map intro. That is Valoran. This is Mount&Blade Warband, the European Championship Series, the second European Championship Series, the semi-finals. Europae playing as the Vegas side on Valoran, currently leading 6-2 against WeDontYou as the Saranids. We'll be looking to turn that around, starting in this set. Mirror setups, 4 infantry, 2 cav, 2 archers. What do you think of that, Aramwin?
I think that's about right.
Good setups. I mean, it's a pretty closed map. There's also flat ground that you can make use of cav with. Yeah. Especially around the flags as well. So
and
fair to take
especially
two.
these cav. I mean, they all know what they're doing.
Very
they're
true.
all very good. No. Vendetta and Raiden both in the tower.
Yeah, we don't seem to have made an early grab for it. Actually, they're kind of just sitting in there for the time being. Tyke gonna sub in here for WeDontYou as well. And Paradoxa. I think Paradoxa's a player who he does very big work in the big group melee fights as well. That's someone's going to be really significant in this map. I think subbing him in could help him out a lot. Interesting that they're just not interested in subbing out Crystal or Black Tide at all. I think that's pretty fair. They're players that they just need to rely on.
Vendetta's given up the tower. But the flag spawned over in the, what do you call it?
The rat market.
The rat market.
Not a term enjoyed by the creator of this map, who is currently playing on it. Isn't that fantastic? Azan, the creator, is playing on his own map.
Why do you call it the rat market? Oh.
Well, there was this
What's
thing where...
AE pushing into the...
Yeah, they're going to just charge right towards their opponents. And look at this. Look at the jump and attack from M. Oh, he takes a hit from it, though. It was a crazy Dragon Ball Z move. But, oh, he gets taken down by Benedetto as well. He must regret that right now. Scar moves into attack too, but it's going to get driven back. And the axis from WeDontYou could be a problem right here. But Razor with the headshot through the crowd. Going to bring down Black Tide. The fight now kicking off in this. Oh, and the headshots just going into this fight are so significant right now. As Cleric Johnson's brought down by Benedetto. LaRue needs to start doing some headshots of his own. Well, in comes Milos Zeman into this fight. Gonna get harassed by Benedetto. Taken down by LaRue as well. Got caught up in the melee right now. But Scar, Azan, Razor overwhelming on the other side, and WeDontYou gonna take this first round. Oh, the team kill from LaRue as well. After so many headshots, the double kill from Raiden. LaRue gets 1 kill back. And he's 1 against 5 right now. But he can still do this. We've seen crazy comebacks. Albeit rare. Gets his first hit on Benedetto. And Raiden goes over to start raising the flag. No risks. At this level of play, you can't take any risks. The bump slash from Chobron comes in here. And LaRue is finished off. WeDontYou make the start of their potential comeback in this match.
The AE push, but didn't work. WeDontYou took that quite comfortably, it felt like.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the best idea. Maybe spreading out their archers and go for a crossfire could have worked better. M's crazy Dragon Ball Z jump attack, high jump, kick, spinning, ninja move did not quite work. And 2 kills apiece from the WeDontYou Rangers there. Raiden and Benedetto both picking up 2 kills. Tyke coming in to pick up 2 kills as well. Yeah, trying to be Peter. Do check out that video, that's a brilliant video, that 3 vs 3 infantry fight. I'm sure we're going to be careful right now. I called at the start of the game, I said that both teams are going to go ahead at some point, and that's already happened. WeDontYou went ahead in the first round, and Europae obviously ahead now. Can WeDontYou pull back and get ahead again? They take the tower once again. It's another stalemate. No flag. Well, the flag just spawned on the rat market, actually. But AE's still happy with their position because they can move down to this flag spawn as well by the fountain and over towards the one which is around WeDontYou spawn as well. Indicated by the lovely Team Razor logos in game as well. You'll see this on the stream. Big shout out to the sponsors there for providing prizes and supporting the mount&blade Warband competitive community. Team Razor, a brand you're probably very familiar with. You maybe even have some Team Razor equipment. I do. I've got myself I've got a Razor mouse mat and a keyboard.
LaRue has a Razor mouse and a keyboard.
And a headset, which he was
and a headset. Oh, maybe I've got that wrong then. I know he had 2 things. But I'm sure he's got the mouse. In fact, a lot of people are saying they've got the Razor mouse. I do too.
Oh, I'm saving up for one and I can't wait to buy one. Okay, the flag's going to spawn in the spawn area of WeDontYou. Now, Upstrip are going to drive through this tower once again. No jumping attacks, but WeDontYou's going to back off, and they're going to start spreading out, and they try and take control of the whole area where this flag is spawned. If we look back here, we're going to start to see their archers. You see Raiden and Benedetto spreading out. Raiden on the left, and Benedetto over on the right here, setting up a wicked crossfire.
He's got that nice spot near the wall.
And look at this, you can see on the mini-map, Europae immediately recognising they don't want to walk into that. They're going to run around this side alleyway, and they're going to charge down one side of the assault path, WeDontYou. But look at the reaction here. Raiden's moved to a different corner, and Benedetto moves to the centre as well. So you see this crossfire they've got set up once again. Any area where A approach now, they're going to have to walk into a crossfire. Brilliant movement here from WeDontYou. It's so hard to assault against this. Oh, but the headshot from Tyke! You can't throw javelins in the face of an archer like LaRue. Because he'll punish you, and the same thing's happened to him right now as well. LaRue with another headshot though, he's brought down Black Tide as well. And LaRue has just played so well in this crucial match. Having a fantastic game right now. Azad is brought down by Relax though. It's not over yet. WeDontYou do have a player advantage right now. 6 players to 5. The Couch Lances. Chris the Vicious staying alive. Against a vicious assault from Scar.
Yeah, but Scar moving into the...
There's not much time left. One of the teams has to make a punch for the flag at some point. Clarence Johnson is nearby. He's attacking Raiden. But Raiden is staying alive and holding out. Scar is taken down here. But the flag is going to be significant. If Cleric can stay alive here. And look at this. Cleric now dealing with the attack of Benedetto as well. Oh, the kick slash from Raiden while he was down. Really sealed the deal. And Weirdo is brought down as well. WeDontYou fighting back on this map. This is... Could this go all the way?
Winterberg, here we come.
And WeDontYou were just so scary there, weren't they? I mean, anywhere A tried to penetrate the defences, they just reacted so beautifully.
They reacted so fast. Really fast, yeah.
The crossfire was in place, and the kill's just coming in for the WeDontYou archers right now. In spite of LaRue's best efforts. LaRue is a player who has so much experience playing in these high-level games. Fresh off the Nations Cup final. Playing for the Benelux team. He's a Belgian player. Or the Bene team, sorry. They did lose that to Poland.
Yeah, but they went so far. Much further
they did
than
go very
they've ever
far.
gone before.
A couple of players there he's playing against right now, actually, were there to beat him in the final. As Trebron and Christo were there. Polish champions of the Nations Cup. And Poland are the great warbanding nation. I think if there's one thing Europae lack, it's Polish players. Something about the way Poles play, it's just brilliant. I don't know, I love to watch them. And Trebron picking up 3 kills as well. He's a player who I've talked about before in the past as being someone who's been around for such a long time. Back in the day when he used to play for the Wolves team, the Wolves clan, he wasn't considered one of the best. He's never really been considered a key player up until recently. And now, what he's able to do, especially on a map like this, where there's cab potential but it's fairly closed, he's able to find space and momentum to make passes in his fights. And he's so clinical. He's so clinical. Every time he passes through, he seems to get something done. He knocks down 3 enemy players, or he bump lances one, or he couches one. He always gets something done. And he's so quick and so effective playing as a cav on a map like this.
Yeah, and of course Trebron was one of our interviewees this week. A brilliant interview from him.
Oh yeah, lovely guy. Do check it out on facebook.com/WeDontYou. No, not that one. Facebook.com/MNBcomp. But there should be a WeDontYou Facebook page. I've inadvertently made a fantastic hint. And now,
Ooh.
are you going to try and set up the same kind of devastating crossfire here? But Razor not in a as secure a position here. He's going to back off, actually, not comfortable. The flag is spawned quite a long way back right now, but A don't want to back off. They want to fight WeDontYou here. They want to stop their advance at this junction. Benedetto's starting to shoot at the players, looking for any kind of hole that he can find. He's starting to shoot at feet. That's the extent at which archers play to in this game. They shoot at the feet of their opponents, under their shields.
and LaRue facing off at this ladder.
In comes Weirdo. A player's been very significant in this game already. Azan gets 1 kill. Hits Tyke as well. And WeDontYou looking pretty strong in this set so far. In this round, sorry. But Cleric brought down by Raiden. Tyke and Benedetto getting kills as well. And WeDontYou starting to get even more kills. And could they even this up with this set? Blazers is brought down, and WeDontYou look like they're storming towards another round win here. Weirdo is caught in a very weird position right now. Duking out with Raiden on a ladder with his horse. in the weirdest way I've ever seen in my life. And he's forced to abandon it, but he's going to get killed here, I think. Oh, just slips away from the shot of Raiden there, but... I mean, he's now one horseman against 6 WeDontYou players. I don't think he's got much of a chance. He's going to run towards the flag and try and stay alive for 20 seconds. He could do it, but brought down by Benedetto. And Benedetto has just been so fantastic this whole game. He's got 7 kills in 3 rounds. And there's a reason that he's got 100 Benedetto points. And it's not just because he makes the points. It's because he is a 100 BP archer. What a player. He's another player with an interesting story as well. Because he played in KHR for so long. A Ukrainian side.
Pushing again?
Yeah, okay.
We're
going to abandon talking about Benedetto here because you're playing 6. Sorry, we're about to talk about Benedetto. Talk about A because they're playing 6 inf and they're charging towards their opponents. 6 inf, 2 archers, and they want a melee fight. They don't want to lose another round the same way, and I like this. 1 early kill, but Cleric Johnson brought down again, and Cleric Johnson has died early in a lot of rounds this set so far. It's something which he gets a lot of stick for as well. The WeDontYou players, they like to bug him about dying early. Because he plays so aggressive, it's something which does happen. He can do very well, or it can all go very, very wrong for Cleric Johnson. And, that's going to get to him. That will bug him. He deals with it by being aggressive, but how aggressive can you get? He really just hasn't been able to be too effective in this set so far at all.
One thing LaRue said about WeDontYou is that they are very solid, and if you make a mistake, they will punish you for it.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very fair assessment.
Cleric's aggression is expected and looked for, and if he gets into the wrong position, punished very heavily.
This is certainly a team which can punish. I mean, look at Trebron. Look at his armor. He's some, sick, Saranid Mamluk, Lord of the Desert, riding on his hunter. Even though his hunter's got an arrow in its knee, it's going to keep adventuring.
Well, since they've taken a pause, are you going to continue with your...
Continue with what?
You were telling some interesting story just before A.
Oh, that's it.
Pushed it to the top.
Well, I was going to say, but Benedetto, he started off... He was sort of one of the star players for an interesting Ukrainian team called Karakterniki. They had a very fantastic game against IG, which you can watch as well. It's a great one. It's on the LODs. Such a fantastic game. That's when he really caught my attention as a great player as well. And since then he's just moved on and got better and better. I think he's always had a pretty big reputation in the in the sort of Russian-Ukrainian scene, which is slightly separate from the European scene sometimes. There is crossover. Are you going to try what they did in the second round again? They're going to go around the side. WeDontYou immediately going to try and set up their crossfire, but they can't set up a crossfire right now because Raid's been taken down. And that's going to make it a bit easier for AE to push. But they can't leave it too late. They have to get aggressive right now. They get into the fight, and LaRue just seems to be fighting melee here. He's going to get into this corner and perhaps he's going to pull out his bow now. And now LaRue can start doing some damage. Vendetta not with a great shot. He's shooting behind his teammate, Paradoxa. But Bloody Death with no shield. And here comes Trebron to get some damage done. But the kill's coming in for AE right now. Azan, Scar. Double kill here from Scar. He's going to move to Vendetta as well, and he's going to get a big kill on the melee doors. But M goes down. Vendetta drops to LaRue. Bato gets a couple of kills there. But he's got to play big right now. There's only two WeDontYou players left. There's a team kill, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And Apis Europae take the 7-5 lead. WeDontYou not able to see out this three sets for a 4-0. We're going to have a 30-second break before we go into the third break. Okay, we go into the third break of the match right now. The score is currently, well, it's 5-7 to Apis Europae. They lead. And, well, what do WeDontYou need to, what do they need to do right now? It's so hard to say that name. It's really confusing. I'm losing my breath as well.
Very well on this map. I mean, they took the first 3 rounds. We think the factions are quite even. AE reacted by dropping their cav and going 6 infantry.
Yeah, a crazy switch up in tactics there, and it worked.
It worked.
I always say to teams,
WeDontYou by surprise.
Exactly. I always say to teams, if it's not working, then switch it up and do something which does work, or something which might work. Beautiful.
Yeah. So when and of course WeDontYou all tanked up at that stage, having had the kills from the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's so true.
But the next set we start again. They switch factions. It could go either. It could still go either way. We might see Winterberg yet.
It seems almost likely at this point, given how close these teams are. But Apis Europae maintain their lead. And that is significant. Yeah, it's a good point you made there about the gold not being the significant factor there, because it isn't always what sees it through. A team can win 3 rounds, get a lot of gold, get a lot of armor. Doesn't always mean they're going to win.
Yeah, but I think that may have been the surprise factor. All that
Yeah, it just goes to show that there are things you can do still. It's not just a snowbally game. I mean, that's my point.
Yeah, and both teams very skilled, very even, so it's not like one team were out-skilled. It was
a similar number of players on both rosters here. WeDontYou there with a couple of players on their roster still that actually can't play. I mean, Aris is an American player. They don't really use him very much because obviously the high ping. And so Mercy obviously suspended. So the available players for both sides are fairly similar. Mitchell pretty inactive as well for Apis Europae, so a couple of players missing from there. Shemmer as well, a less used player, only appearing a couple of times this season. Perhaps out with injury, who knows?
Peter, sadly, the UK at the moment.
If Peter is watching us, a shout out to Peter for being one of the great Warband players of all time.
Let's hope he's back home for match if they win this one.
Nice tweet from Bomber saying AEWD closest to the most exciting round in the tournament so far. IMO, it's an early grand final for sure. It's possible, but I think Freelancers look so strong. I don't know. They could even be the favourites against either of these teams. Who knows what's going to happen? On who's going to go through to the grand final? We're still to settle that.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, Aaron win. The key players I've listed here so far are Blacktide, Benedetto, and Trebron. I think Blacktide and Benedetto. This is for WeDontYou. I think Blacktide and Benedetto. Pretty accurate so far. Both of them have been playing very, very well. Trebron perhaps not done as much, but he has still been pretty significant in the fights. I feel like the Cav for WeDontYou have been sort of. They've kind of done a similar amount, all of them. Osman had some great rounds in the first set. Trebron was pretty big in that last set though as well. They've all been about even, I think. But I think Blacktide and Benedetto, I think we've been spotting with them. Scar, I think, has been great all game so far. I mean, he's just been doing huge work in the melee fights. In pretty much every round, he's been so consistent and getting a lot of like double kills, staying alive. LaRue has obviously just been the star for A so far, in my opinion. But I mean, well, he has been, I guess, the star, but also, on top of that, Weirdo and Bloody Death on that first map just played off their heads.
Yeah, yeah. And A taking the map that WeDontYou chose.
Yeah, that's very interesting as well.
I was just trying to think.
And WeDontYou doing better on the AE pick map as well. They both messed up their picks. That's at the top level of mount&blade Warband. They have no idea what they're even good at.
Well, we don't know that they messed them up. Maybe.
We don't know. So sorry, that's really messed my head when you said that. We don't know that WeDontYou messed it up, or so
see how many times we can get that phrase into the rest of the stream.
Well, WeDontYou, the story behind the name, as far as I know, is it's something that Raiden said because he's Turkish, and you know, the level of English in Turkey is a little bit lower because they don't have as many sort of English-speaking foreigners living in the country, so they don't get as much chance to practice. So I think he made a mistake and he said WeDontYou or something like that. I don't even know what he was trying to say in Turkish. I don't even know what that even means. But I think that sort of stuck as something which they found funny, and they've sort of embraced that.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? You can, to some extent, take anything as your name, but you make the name. And this team certainly have the ability to make any name great.
Yeah. Except for their old name, obviously. Rubbish name.
It was... There are things you just shouldn't do. And choosing a name that is not going to be welcome in sensible competitions maybe wasn't a clever thing to do.
But I think they're happy, and we can move past that. Perhaps a slight problem. Okay. And we have a tweet in here from Jabmandan saying some lovely jab kills that I can rate high on the Victor scale, especially on the first map. Lovely there from Jabmandan.
You should do jab points.
The Victor scale, come on. Brilliant. It would be good if you made a compilation of the javelin kills and the videos and rated each of them on the Victor scale. That would be fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Make it happen, somebody. I think we're live now, so let's start thinking about getting back into this game. A little chance there just for us to catch our breath, if nothing else. And we are about to get back into the game right now. Apis Europae still leading in this game, but their lead has narrowed after the previous set. 7-5 is the score. Apis Europae now playing as a Saranid side. Could it be that the theorized advantage of the Vegas and this spawn will be enough for WeDontYou to bring it back to Winterberg, or even to win? Who knows? We shall see how the first round plays out, and that will be very significant here because the next round, Apis Europae win. If they do win another round, it will guarantee that they get at least a draw. And my god, what will we do if it goes to Winterberg? What will we do?
Well, I will be very happy.
I think it's something which the scene was a bit skeptical of at first, but have grown to love.
We just had so many wonderful matches in the Nations Cup.
Yeah, that's so true.
Going to Winterberg was, always.
And the thing is, we were talking about Winterberg in the previous game, and we were thinking, well, what if Irish Rebels could bring it back on the open map? They obviously didn't in the end, but if they could, then they'd be playing Winterberg, which is obviously a very very close map. So freelancers would probably have inevitably just won that. But in this, they basically played 2 pretty close maps. The melee fights have been, well, almost, you know, anyone's guess at this point. I mean, theoretically you'd say Europae would win the melee fights, but when you've got Paris Doxa, Black Tide, Christo in there for WeDontYou, who can say that you guarantee an AE win on Winterberg? I mean, it's anyone's guess if it did go there. And the flag does spawn here, in the spawn of Europae, and now Tommy's going to raise it straight away. I love this from Europae when they raise it. Although I don't know why they raise it and then just get up, because it doesn't make a difference. I mean, there's no... maybe might put pressure on their opponents, but it's something which, like, teams often do. Yeah, and then it just goes back down to nothing, and it's made no difference. Okay, ooh, interesting here from A. They haven't really managed to get a crossfire set up here very well. Neothar has moved over to this trough area. And he takes a big hit on Raiden there, actually. I think he shot him in the head at that point. Took a lot of life off there. Fortunately, Raiden bought the best helmet that an archer can get, which does give you extra protection. You can survive a headshot, especially from those weak sounding bows. And A playing a really interesting style here. They haven't really spread out a crossfire very scarily at all. It's a very, very deep crossfire, I want to say. And it's clear that the Rue has been played once again. Interesting to see that Cleric Johnson has been subbed out. I wonder if that's related to his performance in the previous set.
Much rage.
And now the fight's kicking off. Because there's not much time left. I mean, there's only 30 seconds left. The flag isn't high for anyone, but A are backed off away from it. They have to get back onto that flag. Because WeDontYou are raising it. Now, Bloody Death has been forced away from the flag, but and they're getting kills here, and they're getting team kills on WeDontYou, but they have to go onto the flag Europae right now, because it's going up for WeDontYou. It's very even right now. If WeDontYou can stay on this flag, they will get a draw. And Benedetto could stay alive right now. He's getting support. They have to bring down Benedetto. They have to bring him down. They can't! They can't take him down!
Oh.
It was so close!
My.
And they couldn't do it! Now.
Such a huge player advantage for AE there.
Somehow he stayed alive there. I don't know how they couldn't bring him down. I don't know how they couldn't bring him. He had no health. He had no shield. Okay, well, it's now Winterberg is basically off the table.
Well, unless there's another draw.
Unless there's another draw.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Unless there's another draw.
Another draw and 2 wins.
Wow. Well, that's.
Don't you?
Now this match has seen everything.
Yeah, and clearly Benedetto can hold his own against several AEs. So.
I mean, they must have been screaming and trying to take him down, but I mean, it's like that moment in Lord of the Rings where they're defending Helm's Deep and Aragorn is screaming at Legolas, "Take him down! Take him down!" The one with the bomb who's running towards the grate to blow it up. Take him down! And they just couldn't bring him down, and at the last second, he stayed alive and got the draw. Oh my god! I mean, it just seemed like, I mean, I was sort of about 30 seconds before that I was panicking that sort of was sort of not be able to take the flag, but it seemed like they had 7 seconds, which is, I mean, not a long time overall, but relatively enough time to take down an archer with no shield with 3 infantry. How they missed him, I don't understand. Although it must be said that if anything, this favours. I mean, it's hard to say who it favours, to be honest. Because WeDontYou were going to lose the round, so in that sense it favours WeDontYou to save it for a draw in that moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if A win a round now, they win. So WeDontYou need to just win 3 rounds in a row. Which is difficult, considering they did not do very well in the first round.
2 in a draw.
Or 2 in a draw. And now AE starting to play aggressive. They're starting to move down, preempting this flag. But Deacon Barry gets caught out here. He comes near to support him, and nice movement actually here. They're going to set up a bit of a crossfire. The flag spawns in the rat market. WeDontYou going to back off towards it seems like, or are they going to hold this choke point? It's such a tense round now, because now it is match point. Now it is match point.
Deacon and Nia coming over the ladder.
In goes M. It's a tentative charge here from Europae. They're caught behind the cheese table. In comes the cav of WeDontYou. Ineffective passes though. Toby brings down Pendragon, but loses his shield. Azan and Tommy both got up there in all positions. WeDontYou looking stronger in this melee fight so far. Bladeth is brought down by Blacktide. Scar and Blacktide duking it out right now. Nia brings down Benedetto. LaRue takes down Trebron. And could we be seeing Apis Europae march towards victory here? It looks like it. There's 7 players against 4, but WeDontYou are not out of it yet. There's a minute left. They need kills fast.
Just one WeDontYou player on the flag, that's all we need.
They're backing off now. And backing off is not a good idea because now Nearthar and LaRue have got space to shoot. And this is going to cause a lot of problems for WeDontYou. They do get the first kill. Scar is brought down. Down goes the man. But down goes Barry as well. And WeDontYou are getting kills right now. And Tyke brings down M. It's so close. There's 2 players left here for WeDontYou. Raiden and Blacktide fighting for their tournament life. Blacktide puts away the shield and brings out the spear. There goes Raiden and Blacktide's brought down. And Apis Europae take the victory. They go through to the grand finals. They beat WeDontYou. 8-5 is the score. GG. We're going to have a short break and move into the post game. Well, what a fantastic match there. Just a brilliant game.
WeDontYou saying, is it live?
It's the classic bit of banter there from Pendragon. Apis Europae go on to the grand final and... Wow, Jesus. I mean... WeDontYou going to be devastated right now. There's no 2 ways about it.
Yeah, and they were looking so strong. You know, when they took the 4-0 on Naval Outpost, second set, we're thinking, well, probably going to take this.
Yeah, but WeDontYou fought back, and they really made this a sick game. But not able to see it through, and oh my god, what a roller coaster!
Yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster.
And I think, do stick around because, we are going to have an interview here, I think, with Apis Europae players. We're going to bring them in. I don't know who we're going to get in just now, but we definitely want to hear from them. They're going to be very pleased.
About some of their decisions that they made.
I want to hear what they think about the maps that were played in. I got to say, I think WeDontYou right now are going to be thinking, why did we not pick an open map? What were we doing?
Yeah, I'd quite like to know that.
They will have a chance to make 3rd place now. They'll face off against the Irish Rebels, and you've got to back them to take that match. But
absolutely,
at this stage, you know that all they had eyes for was the grand title.
Yeah, and they were so close.
No Winterberg though for tonight. I want to say thank you everyone for watching. Do stick around because we will have the interview. But even if you are leaving now, it would be great if you just give a little follow on the channel. And if you want, you can follow me on Twitter as well, obviously. But following the channel is what really actually supports us a lot, the Twitch channel. Thanks for coming in such great numbers and keeping chat very active and lively. Tweeting in as well. It's been a great evening of Warband, and I just want to thank everyone for joining us. So yeah, just follow the channel and stick around for the interview.
Tweet at Team Razor as well to thank them for sponsoring this tournament.
Oh yes, at team_Razor, is it? Tweet at them.
No, Team Razor, no underscore.
Are you sure? Is it?
Yes, I am sure.
Okay, tweet at Team Razor then. Don't put an underscore in because that will be a fake Team Razor account. Tweet at Team Razor, or one word. And say, make sure they know that you're tweeting about this. And say, oh...
Hashtag Warband ECS.
Yes, hashtag Warband ECS. Yes, hashtag Warband ECS. And say thank you for supporting competitive Warband, etc. Okay then. I think we're going to bring in someone for an interview here. I don't know who is going to come. but I believe they will be seeing some people come in pretty soon. Jesus, what a match! So tense, such incredible rounds.
Such an exciting match.
I mean, it's so great to see, like, just the level of play there is just so high. Some of the headshots there. I mean, we've got LaRue, the closest thing to a Warband celebrity. He had such a fantastic game throughout, getting so many crucial kills and really sort of carrying them through a lot of rounds.
First map particularly looking incredibly scary.
Yeah, Vendetta was insane. Jesus Christ. I mean, who can deny his right to 100 Vendetta points at this stage? He's earned them. He's given them and he's earned them.
That's it. I didn't realise he had 100. I thought he was on 99.
Oh, he might be. Yeah, you might be right. Such modesty.
Yeah. He can give himself the extra one now, I would say, for that first map.
Okay, I think we're going to be bringing in couple of A players to come speak to us. I'm not sure who is going to come. Don't know who's coming, but I think they want to bring in as many people as possible. I've said they can have up to 4. I think more than that is going to be a little bit too much for us to take. But definitely do stick around because they're a great bunch. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun to hear from them.
Yeah, if they promise to sing, you could maybe let them all come.
If I promise, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
If they promise to sing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have them as a boy band. Or
I don't know if there isn't a theme tune. Okay, I think we're gonna have LaRue is definitely gonna be in here. I think we might have M as well. Just make sure that we got people all prepared. I think Cleric's going to come in, often joining us for these type of affairs. Always great to hear from him as well.
I'll find out why he went AWOL in the last step.
Okay, we're going to have Cleric and Deacon as well. Interesting fact here, both Cleric Johnson and Deacon Barry are brothers. They're actually twin brothers. So we've got two twin brothers in here. We'll have LaRue and M. So let's bring them in now. I think we're going to be ready for this interview. Really want to make sure they've got enough volume. I think we should be good. Okay. Okay, is everyone in?
Yep. Hello.
Congratulations on the win.